Hi, welcome to Sonoma Parenting 101 and Montessori Curriculum 101. In today's film, we will talk about the beginning stages of reading and the progression, how we in the Montessori classroom introduce reading. I will talk first about a few things that are not displayed here on the table. Every day in the classroom, we have story time more than once. We sing songs, we recite songs and poems. There is a strong emphasis on language development, on clear speech, and on pronunciation. It is also very important that children are exposed to print in the environment, that they see words displayed at home, at school, and they see words around the community. I will start with the very beginning of sounding out. If you remember a few principles how to progress, it doesn't matter so much which material you have, you can even make it yourself, but you follow the steps of progression. Very, very important, the sound of the letter before the name. No child can arrive at a word with W or even H or Y, but they will arrive at W, water, window, wheel. So it's very important to introduce the sound and then the name of the letter, and also lowercase a little bit before capital. Now, a lot has to do with their name, and of course the first letter of the name will be capital, and then everything else will be lowercase. What I have found just in our society and in media, that capitals is taken care of, capitals is everywhere, but lowercase is a little bit behind. Now, English is mostly in lowercase. So make it really a point that you introduce plenty of lowercase. So let's start with the sound basket. A very fun group activity is the I Spy game. Just an object. I spy with my little eyes something that starts with eh, eh. And most likely they go apple, 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 apple. Now this could be all you do in circle, or you could have the letter displayed. I spy with my little eyes something that starts with eh. And then you match it up or they match it up. You go through all the letters, many, many objects. So in Montessori, concrete before abstract. So an object is much more concrete than a picture and much more concrete than a word. So I spy with my little eyes something that starts with nest. And maybe you have the letter laid out. If you at the same time want to introduce writing, you trace it out. Now, after you do this a lot of times, you want to also introduce names. Do we have a friend who starts with a? And then Adam might go, I do Adam or Abigail or Nathan and so forth. So always connect the sound, different words with a beginning sound. So we start with the beginning sound. You do this a lot, then you go to the ending sound. Follow the lead of children. Maybe there is one or two, a small group of children, and they have arrived at that stage that they hear the ending sound. And then you go to bat or hat, and they say, bat, bat, t, t, t. And they have their ending sound. So the sound basket, I have 4 or 5 sound baskets in the classroom. You can sort them after any principle that works for your group. You can change them, mix them, whatever works. But this is something that is always available. And it's also good to have the baskets out and let children polish things over. Yes, they know it, but they like to lay out the letters left to right. They match up the objects. Then they come to me and say, I want to show you something. And they're so proud to sound it out and match it up to the letters. So not always challenge, not always the next hurdle. Also celebrate their accomplishment. So we have the sound basket. Now I have another activity set up that has objects. I picked this one, transportation on land. We have transportation in air, transportation in water. They love it. Here you see the display. Concrete objects, left to right, at the very top. These are the name cards. Name cards are next. They show the picture of the object and also the word. So they match it up. Left to right. Next row, these are mute cards. Only the picture. And then the labels. Now these are complex words, sometimes 2 words, sometimes compound words. It's to see, does it look the same? Does it look the same? No. Does it look the same? Yes. There it goes. Does it look the same? Oh, the second word, yes, but no. Does it look the same? No. Does it look the same? Yes. And so forth. So an activity like this covers so many principles of learning, top to bottom, left to right, concrete to most abstract, lots of repetition. And then of course they can color, they can write. You might have blank templates to just extend it into reading and writing. Here it's not necessary that they read the words, but just does it look the same? So let's move on to the wooden tablets. This is an activity over the last 3 decades, is probably what I have used the most. They are great. I have 10 different sets with different vowels, all 3-letter words, and they lay them out left to right, and then they match it up. Does it look the same? No. 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 Yes. So they go left to right. Does it look the same? Yes. No. Yes. And they match it up. Lots of repetition. Then, and this is just so great, the word disappears. And when they read to you, so you might do this and you say, let's read together. 10, jet. They probably in the beginning say airplane. Bed. And here they always say chicken. And that gives you an indication that they don't really sound out beginning to end, but they take the language from the picture, which of course is a valuable step. But when they go hen, whether they memorize it or they sound it out or both, you match up the labels. And then they have to remember, and they lay it in front. No, yes. And after they lay it all up, they can double check, did I get it correct? So this is a great control of error. These wooden tablets with the words, if you can make them or if you can get your hands on them, they are just terrific. Great for reading. and also writing. Okay, let's take a look at the movable alphabet. There are so many different movable alphabets out there. I picked a fairly small one. I wanted to show you. These are nice wooden letters. They're organized from A through Z. Usually this is a rug activity. It's also a group activity. I do it most days. And I go through all the vowels. I have different ending sounds. I mean, I have it in my document with the language, all the 3-letter words with all the vowels, but you can just create it yourself, or you can print them somewhere, find them. And I start in the beginning of the year, I start with first letter of the alphabet. Is that a word? So when we build words, does it have meaning in English? Yes. A rug, a tray, a picture. So this is already a word. Let's put t at the end. Et. Is that a word? Yes. We have another word. So you lay several words with at out, and then you put a beginning sound. Let's put b in front. B, at. Yes. In fact, there are 2 meanings. Hat and so forth. You go through the entire alphabet. And what's fun with word building is often you can flip a word front to back. You can put the beginning sound to the end and vice versa. And then pot becomes top. And you can make, if you decide so, you can make silly words and they laugh and it has no meaning, but they like it. And often you come across words, let's say mitt, like the baseball mitt. And it's spelled correctly with 2 t, but you have to decide, will you say, yes, it is a word, and you don't say anything, or you say, yes, mitt, but in this case, we're going to add a t. And I had it happen when we went through ending words with g, and I said, mig, is that a word? And a boy instantly said, yes, it's an airplane, and he had been to an air show. And so it's very important to read your group, to know the children, and to observe what they are really interested in. So the movable alphabet is an activity that hopefully you do a lot, and you do with great entertainment and enthusiasm, and you just really let them hands-on explore these letters. Let's flip them in the back. Does it still have meaning? Oh no, not at all. So very, very concrete word building experience. So now here I have 4-letter words and just a picture. They can sound a lot of 4-letter words out. Mask, mask, lamp, jump. So from 3-letter words to 4-letter words. And here are words, no picture, but still sounding out. Flag, clam. So lots and lots of cards, classified cards, labels, cards with a picture. The entire classroom is just filled with cards in all areas. Sensorial, lots of cards. Cultural subjects, all continents have cards. Mathematics, a lot of card. And that is how, especially with cultural, I like that so much, how cultural subjects bring the language into the subjects, and it ties it all together. Here I have a sample of capitals, and this is just matching, and I wanted to lay it out because if you decide this is just a matching activity, you can go top to bottom. You can go in order, of course, if you want to go b, k, and so forth. And I have these little tiles